U.S. weather for DAY outlook. New tropical storm Fernand expected to form right after Hurricane Erin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are now watching the U.S. weather forecast news. The closing days of August are painting a very unusual weather picture, one that is both surprising and filled with important warnings. As Hurricane Erin moves farther away from the United States, American forecasters are closely monitoring two tropical disturbances in the Atlantic that have the potential to strengthen into storms. The first system, currently designated Invest 90L, is located to the east-northeast of the Lesser Antilles. According to forecasts, it has an 80% chance of development in the next 2 days, and as high as 90% over the next week. Meteorologists at the National Hurricane Center, NHC, warn that this disturbance could become a tropical depression or tropical storm by the end of this week. If named, the next storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season will be called Fernand. While this system may affect Bermuda next week, it is not expected to impact the United States. Meanwhile, the NHC is also monitoring Invest 99L in the Central Atlantic. This system currently has a 30% chance of developing into a tropical depression as it drifts westward over the next few days. For nearly 2 weeks, Hurricane Erin has left its mark across the Atlantic basin. At its peak, Erin reached Category 5 strength, even being classified as a superstorm. Now weakened to a tropical depression, it no longer requires active tracking for the U.S. but as it pushes north into the Atlantic this weekend, it will continue to generate large waves and rough seas. We are now entering the final stretch of August, a period often considered critical as summer fades and the first signals of fall begin to appear. Traditionally, this time of year has brought intense heat waves across the southern and western U.S., but this year, the pattern is dramatically different. A massive and rare cold air mass, both in strength and persistence, is sweeping southward across the country. Unlike the brief cool downs of the past, this cold wave is expected to last 5 to 7 days, with some areas seeing effects for up to 10 days. That means many regions will experience sudden and dramatic temperature drops of 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, giving Americans a rare chance to feel autumn's chill while summer is still on the calendar. This extraordinary weather event stems from multiple meteorological factors. A huge low-pressure system is positioned just north of the Great Lakes, extending into southern Canada, driven by northwest upper-level winds. It has carved out a deep trough capable of pulling Arctic air southward into the United States. At the same time, a stubborn high-pressure ridge remains in the southwest, keeping states like Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado hot and dry. This stark contrast is splitting the nation. The East and Midwest turn unseasonably cold, while the West continues to endure scorching heat. The advancing cold front is not moving alone. It is dragging along bands of widespread thunderstorms. As Gulf and Atlantic moisture surges inland, colliding with the incoming cold air, the clash in temperatures is triggering strong storms and heavy rainfall. The upcoming week will therefore not only be defined by unusual cold but also by extreme weather events, intense thunderstorms, urban flooding, flash floods in hilly regions, and even early frost in northern states. Detailed forecasts show this dramatic shift beginning Sunday, while Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas still reported 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit heat. States like Wisconsin and Michigan only reached 55 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a staggering 40 degrees Fahrenheit difference within the same country. By Monday, the cold air expanded into the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. Daytime highs plunged to 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, while overnight lows dipped into the 40s. In northeastern Minnesota, readings of 35 to 37 degrees Fahrenheit were expected, levels more typical of October than August. Forecasters even warned of the season's first frost, a rare and startling event. By Tuesday, the chill pressed farther south. Residents in Atlanta, Birmingham, and even Jacksonville felt the difference, with temperatures 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit below average. Light jackets reappeared on southern streets, usually sweltering in late summer heat. By Wednesday, nearly the entire region east of the Mississippi River was under this cool spell. with highs of 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, creating a distinctly autumn feel. Meanwhile, the West remained under the grip of the high-pressure ridge, where triple-digit heat persisted. By Thursday, the cold reached peak intensity. Overnight lows in parts of the Midwest fell to 38 to 42 degrees Fahrenheit, forcing many families to switch on heating systems, an almost unheard-of occurrence in August. At the same time, Arizona and New Mexico remained locked in 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit heat, their monsoon storms only adding to the unpredictability. The cold wave is forecast to persist into Friday and the weekend, before gradually weakening. Yet, long-range models suggest another tropical disturbance may form in early September, further complicating the weather outlook. The impacts are far-reaching. In agriculture, the Midwest, America's corn and soybean belt, is entering a crucial growth stage. Early frost could severely damage crops, prompting farmers to rush protective measures such as irrigation, covering, or even early harvests. In transportation, sharp temperature differences may trigger heavy morning fog, reducing visibility on major highways like Chicago-Detroit. Health-wise, sudden weather shifts heighten the risk of colds and seasonal flu, especially among children and the elderly. Hospitals are being advised to prepare extra supplies. In energy use, eastern states will see reduced electricity demand as air conditioning falls silent, while the West continues to strain under high usage. Thunderstorms add to the disruption. Along the southeast and Gulf Coast, multi-day downpours could bring 100 to 150 millimeters of rain within 48 hours. Cities like New Orleans, Mobile, and Miami face heightened flood risks. The Midwest, including Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, is forecast to endure repeated rounds of heavy rain, raising the chance of flash floods and landslides in saturated soils. In the Northeast, the collision of cold and warm air will spark gusty winds, scattered storms, and rough seas, disrupting shipping and marine industries. At sea, the Atlantic hurricane season is in full swing, with two key disturbances. South of Bermuda, a fast-developing low is expected to strengthen within 24 to 48 hours. If it becomes a storm, it will take the name Fernand. While unlikely to reach major hurricane status, it could still bring strong winds, heavy rain, and large waves to Bermuda. Meanwhile, another disturbance near the Lesser Antilles is currently weak due to Saharan dust and dry air aloft. But conditions improve as it enters the Caribbean Sea, where waters exceed 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Celsius. Forecast models offer 3 tracks: toward Florida, into the Gulf of Mexico, or south toward Central America. Even if not a strong storm, history shows this region has produced some of the most destructive hurricanes, such as Katrina and Irma. Compared to recent years, this late August cold wave is unprecedented. Similar events in 2021 and 2022 were short-lived and mild, lasting only 2 to 3 days. In contrast, 2025's outbreak is stronger and longer, which many experts link to global climate change driving more extreme and unpredictable weather patterns. From a lifestyle perspective, the contrast is striking. Eastern residents suddenly don jackets in August, while Westerners still battle oppressive heat. Agriculture, transportation, health, and energy sectors are all on alert. This is a clear reminder of the importance of preparedness and adaptability at every level, from governments to individual households. Ladies and gentlemen, the final week of August and the start of September 2025 promise to be among the most memorable weather periods in years. The United States faces both the refreshing coolness of early autumn, the extremes of heavy rain and storms, and the threat of new tropical cyclones. It is nature's way of reminding us of its unpredictability and the need for constant vigilance. That concludes today's U.S. weather forecast news. Thank you for watching. We wish you a safe, prepared, and steady week ahead in the face of all weather changes.